following video may contain content parents may find unsuitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everybody, it's Hunger again. Just getting ready to start this freaking stream. Oh man, what a day I've had. I'll tell you all about it in a second.
Come in, you royal boob!
Hey, Hunger.
Hello.
Hi, Hunger.
Hello.
How you been?
Yeah.
You're okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready and joining the realm. Disconnection.
And look,
right.
somebody's already asking to join.
Crap, I need to download the update. Of course I do. Oh, isn't this fun? I hate when it doesn't automatically update. It's so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Sorry about that.
Ate the food. It's alright.
Yeah, I had a couple bites left by the time the stream started, so.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so yeah. Howdy, Caps. How's it going?
Hello, Caps.
Oh, do the thing, Aquan.
Okay. I think I got this down. You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it, molded by it. By the time I saw the light, I was merely a man. But then it was nothing but me but blinding.
Holy
I
shit.
kind of butchered it. I'm tired.
You sounded like old Bane in a wheelchair, and then at the very last minute he got possessed by Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah. Kinda, yeah.
my process.
No, it's literally what he says in the scene. When he says blinding, he says it like that.
Yeah.
When he grabs Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my favorite Bane quote, just because of the way he says blinding.
Yeah.
Process, yes. Blind all the habits and take the ring, the precious. Yes.
Yeah.
Hobbit remake where Gollum's voiced by Tom Hardy when.
Gollum remake where Gollum is actually just Bane.
Yeah. The Gollum gets turned to a big guy.
Yeah.
And he's for you.
He's all crashing through walls and he's like fucking stacked like Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. I think it would look even funnier if it was just Gollum, like at his regular size, but just super muscular instead of super bony.
Is it just the same head and everything? Just
Muffled Henry Kissinger.
Icon, wait up.
That's amazing.
Huh?
I'm right behind you. Aaron. Alright.
Living in a society right here.
Living in a society.
Oh, McDorkins got fixed up. What do you know? Hi, Siege.
It's not about money, it's about sending a message.
Yes. Yeah.
That's all I thought of when I hear someone say, hello.
Hi there.
Oh.
Siege? Yeah, I gotta say, thanks for showing that video to me earlier, because I watched the whole thing, and it actually seems like a really interesting plot concept.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
we have yet to have an adaptation of Agent Venom that's not animated.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, or those not in the know, I saw this video was uploaded today that Siege sent to me. That was of a script this YouTube channel had made for the possibility of a third Amazing Spider-Man movie taking place after the second one. If the second one had included a few deleted scenes. One where Peter actually reunites to his father, and it turns out his father survived the plane crash, but his wife didn't. And his father was hiding the whole time.
I don't see how that's possible.
They probably would have come up with some stupid thing, but anyways, let me get to the explanation of what happens. So, he is telling Peter there's some kind of conspiracy going on with Oscorp still, and he's going to need to stop it alongside him. And then we have hinting towards at the end of the second movie where the symbiote's shown off, and this is part where this custom script starts. So the third movie is about Peter, and Flash leaves off to the military. It starts off, or it has a part in it, where they adapt some things from the Agent Venom storylines, where Flash is in the military and such, and then he gets disabled by having his legs blown off. And he's like living really depressing and everything because Flash had a horrible childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And then I forget his name, but the the guy who has like the fedora. I forgot his name, but
Mr. Fierce.
Yeah, Mr. Fierce. He finds Flash Thompson and takes him into this program to use him as a test subject for the symbiote. And the symbiote is used to turn Flash into some sort of super weapon, hence Agent Venom. And it would be that also showing Peter getting 3 new friends, also showing Peter work at they were MJ, the son of one of the news reporters. Forgot his name, but
Robbie Robertson's kid.
Yeah, Robbie Robertson's kid, and then that one girl who was in the recent movie trilogy.
Liz Allen.
Yeah, Liz. And I almost forgot she was actually a character from the comics. And so she actually is a canon character, which is pretty cool. But
yeah, Michelle Jones is a lesser-known Spider-Man girlfriend. That's why they decided to make her the quote-unquote MJ for the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and I'm pretty sure they're gonna kill her off.
They probably are, because back to the fan-made plot for the third movie. What makes it even better is this movie has at the end, near the end, Peter's dad finds out about the symbiote project from Dr. Connors, who was working inside as a spy. And Peter and his father... Well, Peter at first doesn't want to help his father with this, because his father isn't even being honest with Aunt May and telling her he's still alive. But then he eventually goes with him. And this is when...
The guy from the first movie? The scientist dude?
Yeah, and then Dr. Connors would be killed by Venom, or Flash Thompson controlled by Venom. And then Venom and Spider-Man, or Agent Venom and Spider-Man fight it out, and then throughout their fight, we're also seeing scenes of Parker's dad leaking the information of the 12 hosts who had already died from the symbiote project to the public, as well as everything else sketchy Oscorp has been doing. While Venom and Spider-Man are fighting, we see Venom more take over Flash and turn into actual Venom, like the monster. And then Venom unmasks Spider-Man, and then Flash sees that it's Peter, and he wants to stop attacking him because he doesn't want to kill Peter. But the Venom symbiote takes over, and when the Venom symbiote causes a drop of blood to fall on it from Peter, it realizes that this is the same blood that was used to create it. So it seemed they were going to... This script had used it to adopt the Ultimate Spider-Man sort of origin for the Venom symbiote, where it was actually created by Peter's dad. And possibly also Eddie Brock's father, if they ever introduced him. But they probably wouldn't, because Flash Thompson... And it all ends with, this next part has the symbiote get onto Peter and leave Flash behind. with nowhere to go because he doesn't have legs. And then the black suit Spider-Man has all this anger built up in him from everything that had happened so far. His mother dying, Aunt May dying, I mean not Aunt May, Uncle Ben dying, his girlfriend dying, and not having his parents as a kid. All that black suit Spider-Man stuff, that they always do. And then he fights. He starts to get really violent with the main villain of this movie, and then his dad convinces him to stop, and he fights at the suit, sort of like I did in Spectacular Spider-Man, a cartoon. And then once the suit leaves him, it ends with them releasing the information, and then of course the bad guys get arrested and stuff, and then everything goes back to normal, where Aunt May finds out he's Spider-Man, and his dad is reunited with Aunt May, and then it would all end in a post-credit scene with Flash Thompson becoming Agent Venom, but as a hero rather than a villain. Which I thought the video was a really nice plot idea, and possibly could have worked.
Yeah, it feels like it could have worked,
Right.
Yeah, you should see their fanscription on a possible Back to the Future 4.
Right.
Oh,
As
yeah.
blasphemous as that idea is, their idea was pretty fantastic.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining the Aquan Spider-Man fanfic podcast.
Yeah, that was a pretty long ramble of explaining.
that was a long. Yeah.
I feel like I rather should have
All worth
said.
it, bro.
I rather should have just left it at, if you want to know what happens, you can watch the video yourself. But
Yeah, but
you gotta give me credit. You gotta give me a break to where I recently just watched the video and I'm kind of excited about it. So I felt the need to share it, to share my findings.
it's not guaranteed Amazing Spider-Man 3. It's if not.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed. It's what could have happened. It's a fan made.
Right.
What happened? What could have happened? And if.
Well,
And the reason.
It's a fanfic that basically keeps in mind
sure.
that all these MCU movies have just been pulling various parts of certain comics together and making movie soup out of them. So
Yeah, they could have done, and it's also the reason they use Venom in this fan script is because in a deleted scene, when we see Harry go into Oscorp's secret lab area, we actually see the symbiote in a deleted scene. So that's why it also makes me believe that Sony might have actually been using Ultimate Spider-Man's version of Venom, where Oscorp had created Venom rather than it being from space.
Right.
And
Well, the thing is, they've been...
Huh?
Well, Sony had been trying to make a Venom movie by themselves for a long time, and it's kind of amazing that they were able to get something pulled off the way they did 2 years ago.
Yeah, Venom. Yeah, 2 or 3.
And,
it's like 3 years ago. Yeah.
Speaking of Venom,
Yeah.
who's hyped for Carnage?
Oh, I'm definitely hyped. It's literally in 1 day now at this point.
You know it, my dude. You know it.
I already bought tickets for the opening screening at 4:15 p.m. Friday, the 30th.
Yeah, I still need to get mine. I need. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of theaters tend to show movies a day before they're actually supposed to come out. So that's
We call that the midnight screening sometimes, despite that.
Yeah, the 4:15
it not being close to midnight.
Yeah, the 4:15 midnight screening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't wait though. I really want to see how they handle Carnage and Shriek.
Yeah.
Because I try not to spoil myself too much, so I only watched one of the trailers, but I will say that Carnage looks really cool.
Yeah, he's
With
really
design.
badass looking.
He almost doesn't seem red enough. He almost seems pink.
Yeah, he
Maybe
looks more like the Carnage from that one comic that one really dark comic where he was in that town in, I think, Colorado, where he looked kind of ish.
Well, the thing is, in a lot
You talking about the one? Oh. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in a lot of continuities, like in a lot of artists have drawn Carnage as being like almost red and black. So I think they may have gone with the lighter coloration to differentiate him from Venom, since the two of them would be tangled up fighting with each other quite a bit during the movie.
Well, that didn't seem to bother them in the first one when they had Riot.
Hey,
He was just fucking like.
Yeah,
That character was more like that symbiote was more of a silverish color, I thought. But anyway.
Yeah, Riot looked disgusting,
but
and I loved it.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the giant 500-foot screen and they've got HDR going on, it looks great. But once you watch it on the Blu-ray, unless you've got the 4K HDR going on there.
Oh, hang on! I got breaking news from Hutch McGeehee in the chat. Says it is confirmed that Sonic the Hedgehog is coming to Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this November, guys.
Let's hope he doesn't.
They didn't.
Neat.
Go on topic, you stupid idiot.
When was the last time that Sonic hasn't been at the goddamn Macy's parade?
He said since 2013. I'm sure of it.
Well, let's hope he doesn't get deflated again like he did in his debut.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Pikachu's afloat in the Thanksgiving Day Parade, isn't it?
Oh. Okay, thanks, man.
Huh?
Isn't Pikachu afloat in the Thanksgiving Day Parade too?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't watched it in years.
So Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog are both there. So you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can basically get the full Smash Bros. Roster at Macy's Day Parades.
Do the Sonichu thing.
And Nickelodeon All Stars while you're at it.
The Sonichu thing.
And Nickelodeon All Stars with the janky hitbox.
I'm sorry. Did you?
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
Yeah.
Like they said that the hitboxes need to get really worked on.
Yes,
Oh.
they do.
Like, because
Where'd you
fucking
go?
April O'Neil, or was it April O'Neil? No, it was a different character. But it was like they started winding up their attack, and before their attack was even in its first frame, it was already smacking the opponent.
Yeah.
Like,
Emil, you better fix your crap.
Yeah,
right?
I know, right?
I mean, because the thing is that like they're saying they're gonna launch that fucking game on the same day that Smash announces their last fucking character, and
yeah, and Sakurai did that. He's bringing the fucking heat.
Yeah. I mean,
like that was a good fucking.
If that's the state that their game is in, like they don't got any business launching it that early. What the fuck?
Yeah, seriously.
Well, Nickelodeon, the games that Nickelodeon has had attached to its name have not been stellar from the get-go, so...
What? You
Oh,
mean
the
a
thing is-
television studio is terrible at game development? Holy shit, hang on.
They've been
The thing you have to
licensing
realize
it.
is,
They
though...
haven't been developing it themselves, or crying out loud.
I know, but I'm just saying,
But yeah.
like when you have that type of disconnect where you've got people that have nothing to do with gaming telling the developers what they want in the game, and the developers like just hating their job because they basically have to kowtow to the whims of these idiots, it shows in the final product. It makes the final product look like shit, you know?
It could simply have been a short-term license and not the biggest pedigree of a developer.
I mean, you guys have to remember too, like, this game is actually being made by like a few of the dropouts from the Project Melee scene. Like, so they've actually got some credentials behind it.
Yeah.
I guess.
But they just need to work on their fucking hitboxes.
Sure, for sure.
Quan, where'd you go? I lost you.
Yeah, anyways, back to the Venom sequel.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
There goes my mine card.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Aquan's Venom podcast.
Jeez. Okay. What just happened? Oh. Ouch.
Oh, did you run into the suicide machine?
No, I ran into like a cave, and I got a random speed boost. I don't know how.
Oh my gosh! You mean Cleavor, the Pokemon that was discovered yesterday, was just discovered today? No shit! Holy crap!
Yeah, I got a speed boost from Pokemon, but yeah. So the thing about Carnage is he does look pretty red to me, but I think the reason they didn't make him super red is because I think in the first trailer he looked more red, but it looked more flushed out. So
What in the? Okay, hold the phone for 1 second. What in the ever living hell is Cleavor?
Cleavor? It's the Scyther regional
it's
evolution.
Resort. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Scyther, but it has axes for arms instead, and it's all gold looking. Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
more like
it's
tan and brown.
It's a
so it's
rock
basically
bug
old,
type.
Wait. So it's basically old shiny Scizor with axe arms.
Yeah, it's a rock
Yeah,
bug
well-
type.
Scizor's old shiny was like yellow, right?
Yeah, like this thing's like all gold looking, and then it has like little rock chunks coming out of its face.
Yeah, when they first showed it on the trailer, I was like, "Wait, are they bringing Z moves back and bringing Ultra Necrozma?"
Well, the thing is,
I mean,
when
it
they
wouldn't
showed
be
when they showed the trailer, I was looking at it and I was like, you know, they're framing this like it's a legendary, and I'm like, that's just a Scyther. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, why are they making it?
Creepor.
It's making me think it's gonna be maybe a mythical, maybe a pseudo legendary. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not.
Nah,
It's
it's just going to be a normal Scyther evolution.
It's going to be a regional variant evolution, yeah. But they,
Yeah,
the
like,
way
you
that
remember-
the way that they set it up, they were calling it a noble Pokemon, which is, I don't
Basically,
Noble.
they're just prettier looking totems.
Mhm.
right,
Like that's really what it's going to be.
right.
Huh.
They're bringing totem Pokemon, okay, or
Yeah.
or something like it.
Yeah, it's gonna be not it's gonna be called not Totem Pokemon, and
It's gonna be called Totem Pokemon, the not sequel.
Stop that.
kind of like,
Yeah, I mean-
how
Brand
Rumiko Takahashi's new manga is not Inuyasha.
I literally
Alex,
did not even hurt you.
I remember you were talking briefly to someone the other day about an Inuyasha sequel. Is that another Boruto or Dragon Ball GT type of thing?
Yes,
Please,
it's
no.
So-
there's a series out called Yasha Hime, and it's about Inuyasha and Kagome's children, and you know there's, you know, like I said, there's
Takahashi's not.
I don't want it. I don't want that.
Takahashi's not involved.
no Takahashi's working on her own shit. She's like Takahashi. After Inuyasha wrapped up, she started working on a manga called Rinne, and that has already concluded. And she's now working on a new manga called Mao, which is about a girl who goes back in time and meets a guy who's an exorcist that's possessed by a cat.
What?
I am not joking.
Japan.
Also,
The thing reeks of Inuyasha. It's just. Yeah, you know, but it's
Anyway.
completely different because the guy's possessed by a cat instead of being a dog demon. Yeah.
But you want to know what my favorite thing about this new project of hers is? It's got a blissfully sweet title. I mean, blissfully short title.
Yeah, Mao.
What title? What's it called? What's the title?
It's called Mao.
Mao. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's not like one of those like paragraph long
I-
fucking titles
Right.
that
You-
Japan's
I-
been
actually-
obsessed with lately.
All right.
Yes.
Now that I think about it, I feel like some people in the Clover server were talking about something like that,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Instead of being titled, I went back in time and met an exorcist who was possessed by a cat, and then
Called it Mao
grabbed his
instead.
magic sword
Why?
and became possessed by the cat too. It's
And what's
So, yeah.
sad is that actually sounds like a current fucking anime title.
right.
So, anyways,
Yeah,
speaking of Naruto, because you did mention the crappy
Yeah.
Boruto. Anyways, me and Solus, I've been streaming the dub to Solus, so he can
Oh,
finally watch Naruto. We're on Shippuden now, like the first few episodes of Shippuden. But
Like
Go
we went through like
going back to the fight.
hold on. We
Let
went
me
through like
finish. Going back to the fight with Sasuke and Naruto. So you know how like when this is obviously gonna be spoilers, but if anyone's watched these Minecraft streams, they know they're a hole for Naruto podcast.
Okay,
So-
you know what? Whatever.
You know how like when Sasuke calls Naruto, when he says this to Naruto, he's like
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
when
He
he
called
says
him a real. No, wait, let me say.
No, I'm not gonna say the thing he says in the fight. I'm gonna say what he originally says. So he originally says this. He originally says, "Oh, you're not hurt, are you, scaredy cat?" But in the
end of the thing, he says, "You're not injured, are you, little girl?"
Yeah.
He
yeah,
called him a little girl instead.
Yeah.
In that episode,
and
dude,
I'll
that's obviously not.
I'll explain
Yeah.
why. Because the people who wrote the dub were using multiple writers and multiple translators to do multiple episodes at the same time. And so they had people translating the same scene differently. In the Japanese, it's the same dialogue every single fucking time. You know, like...
Yeah, and in the English version it was too, up until that final flashback. Like,
Yeah,
there
I
were-
know, right?
Yeah, they changed it a couple
flashbacks
times,
to
but
that
yeah,
same
like-
scene. But for the Final Valley
Yeah.
flashback, he was like, he literally just said, "Oh, you're not hurt, are you? You little girl." The way he says it, he sounds so dumb.
It's just flaw. It's
Right.
just like, ugh.
So, in their attempt to streamline and do things efficiently, they kind of screwed it up.
Of
Yeah,
course
it was
they did.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It completely caught me off guard because I almost forgot he says that when.
Right.
Actually, no, because I didn't watch the dub up to that point. I was watching this. I watched the sub up until like a quarter through Shippuden, until I got bored of reading subtitles on a TV laying back in a chair.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I never remembered him saying
Hey,
that.
Creeper, what's up?
Yeah.
Man.
Seeing it, it was
There's
just.
a random creeper in the
that
chat.
sounds,
Creeper.
sounds pretty crazy.
But yeah, you bringing up Naruto reminded me of that because it was so.
Yeah.
You're not hurt, are you, little girl?
God.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
But yeah, I watched the subtitled version of Naruto. It's vastly superior.
It is,
Like-
except for go on and knock that bitch down.
That
Go up
was
and knock
funny.
that bitch down.
Yeah.
It's like she's telling him. It's like she's telling him to knock her up or something. Ugh.
Nah.
Yeah,
The thing is, the funniest part is Shikamaru does knock that bitch up. I'm just saying.
He does. He does.
He do be doing that. That's fucking canon.
And that's not spoilers either, because Solus, you already saw that they were like,
Yeah, I already saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
like the way they act around each other in Shippuden, even since the first episode.
Right.
They're like, no, we're not dating. Yeah, we're not together. Why? We wouldn't even.
Yeah.
They're like both being tsundere to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
like,
where's the
ew,
ghost?
that sounds gross.
Also, one of my favorite moments from
Yeah.
Shippuden, something that reminded me of one of my favorite moments from Shippuden is how we got to this recently. Me and Solus did and it reminded me of when I first watched Shippuden going in, and it's nostalgic, just like it's been nostalgic watching the original Naruto, except with the dub this time instead of the sub, because Solus can't handle it. I'm just kidding, but yeah. So,
Wow.
so it's like whenever he sees
I'm sorry. I can't handle that.
Naruto sees Konohamaru, and Konohamaru shows him his sexy jutsu, Naruto's like, I'm a different man now. I don't do that anymore. And then Sakura is like, wow, he really has changed. And then Naruto's like, are you kidding me? It's not even curvy enough. You don't even look that sexy. You have to get the ultimate new sexy jutsu. And then she's like, yeah, he's changed, all right. You idiot! And then she just socks him.
I think she just beats her
Okay.
down. Beats him
know,
down.
you know what the best part about Konohamaru in the Japanese version is? He has the same fucking voice actress as Pikachu.
He does?
Yes.
Really?
Actually, now that I think back to watching the Japanese version, because like I said, I stopped watching the sub at like a quarter through Shippuden. I do remember him sounding like similar, but I just blew it off because I was like, maybe it's a similar funny person.
Like the voice actress that plays Pikachu, she plays Konohamaru in Naruto, Tony Chopper in One Piece, and also Gash Bell in Konjiki no Gash Bell.
Huh.
Hey, Aquan, we should
Which
keep
is-
going this way.
Which that last one is particularly funny because Gash Bell has electric powers. So
That's hilarious.
That doesn't surprise me whatsoever about Chopper.
yeah.
I remember thinking repeatedly when I was cruising through that with Jim that, man, Chopper sounds an awful lot like Pikachu when he gets excited.
Uh-huh.
But I do have a comment to say about Shikamaru. He was my favorite character in Naruto for a while until I heard on the dub version, he says a line, and I heard this, I think, from your sister secondhand. She said that at one point she was watching the dub, and he says that, he says something along the lines of, I can't stand girls sometimes, they can be such bitches. Whereas,
Oh yeah, he does!
whereas
Wait,
in the subtitle, In the subtitle version, he says they could be so catty.
So catty.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay. I've been meaning to ask Hunger this. Do you know if that was the dub team taking liberties, or if that's what they really meant to get across? Because that sounded mildly misogynistic and disappointing to me.
The dub team takes some liberties with various things. Shikamaru does say some mildly misogynistic.
Yes, he
shit.
does. Yes, he does.
Like he keeps in the beginning in the original Naruto series, he keeps getting paired up against women, like in tournaments and shit. And he's like, "Why do I keep having to fight girls?" Like, you know. He's like so. Like the thing is, I'm pretty sure he would think it was just as much of a pain to fight a guy, but you know, he's got this. Like I said, he does have a little bit of that whole chip on his shoulder, you know.
Yeah,
when it comes to women.
I'm not sure if he's a lazy character or very.
He seems very knowledgeable, but he's like super he's
highly
lazy
intelligent
and he's
but
very
also
smart.
very
That's
lazy.
what I know about him.
He's highly intelligent and very lazy.
He's
like
unmotivated, is what it is. Like he like.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not. He's like most intelligent people to where he's very smart, but also because of that, he gets uninterested in a lot of things. And I actually knew someone like that in high school, which is funny. One of my friends was like that. It's like Shikamaru. You know,
So
minus the sexism. But honestly, as bad as that is, and I'm not defending Shikamaru for that, that's part of what makes his character, makes me like him so much. It's like...
So he's not necessarily lazy, it's just that he feels like he's so intelligent and above so many people that it's just not worth his time.
No, like
it's more like he's bored of it.
He just doesn't get motivated very easily. Like, I think that's one of the reasons that he was recommended for Chunin is because the Hokage recognized that, and he's like, oh, well, if he's unmotivated, we'll just give him some really hardcore responsibility. You know, like, and that's really kind of what starts to drive him as a character is that is that feeling that he's responsible for other people's lives, you know, because when he's on his own, he doesn't behave the same way.
There was a pit right behind us that we just walked way past. I want to go explore it. Wait, where'd you go?
So he's not feeling challenged, he's just bored because he doesn't have...
Yeah, he seems to be largely bored in the first part. Like, he doesn't really... you know, he's not really motivated to be a ninja. He doesn't have the same type of ambition as like a Naruto, where he's like, oh yeah, I need to achieve ninja greatness. Like, in fact, his ambition is mediocrity. Like, because he talks about in one scene how his dream was to marry an average girl and have the average number of kids, and then have them take over for him and retire, and then.
Yeah, he's wanted a normal life. Like...
Yeah, he goes on this...
Just wanted to have a regular life.
Yeah, he goes on on this thing about how he just wanted to have this mediocre, uninteresting life, you know.
God, where is it?
You know.
It was like... Yeah.
Yep. I think I remember that because
it was...
That's how I felt for a long time.
Yeah, it was during a scene where he was facing death, and he was like... man, I just wanted to have this...
Yeah, it was in the
unappealing, uninteresting sort of life, and now I'm here doing this. You know, like,
yeah.
Now I'm here fighting for my life, fighting for my country.
Yeah, it was like in the retrieving Sasuke arc.
I think so, something like that.
Yeah,
but,
I think
also
so.
that introduced Solus to one of his favorite scenes with Choji when he takes the pills.
Oh man, yeah.
That was so cool, honestly.
Basically, Hunger, what you're saying is Shikamaru's not a woman hater. He's just kind
of... What the fuck? The pit...
He's a work hater.
Doesn't want... Okay.
Yeah. He's a work hater.
He's got a lazy streak 3 miles long.
I feel like
recognize
like I said, I feel like he would have been just as annoyed if he had to fight a dude.
He would.
I was referring mostly to the whole, women can be such bitches line.
Yeah, I think he... I think they may have taken some liberties with that, because...
they did. The dub did add an extra cussing.
They did, in some places, because the thing is,
they were marketing toward the edgy teen crowd.
In Japanese, there are no real cuss words. There are words that are maybe considered slightly impolite, and there are characters that use them. And so when a character is using a very vulgar or impolite manner of speech, a lot of the time a translator will convey that as cussing so that the audience understands that this character is supposed to be kind of crass and not polite, you know. So we often see characters getting translated and having their dialogue include a lot of curse words when the translator is trying to convey that this character is supposed to be like rude, you know.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's something that you see in anime quite a bit, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them also do it to be edgy, like Elven Lied, because they're like, okay, since this anime is super gory, and since the sub had cussing added in already by people, even though it wasn't originally in the Japanese language, let's also add it to the dub. Like, there's a lot of cussing in like those older.
The thing is, Elven Lied is like kind of a horror type situation. And a lot of the time in those types of situations, you'll have, like, an American would most likely not be using polite language if they were stuck in a situation like that. So it's almost more natural to have them cussing in a stressful situation like that. Like, for example, in My Hero Academia, that scene where All Might has like Midoriya is in the first episode is hanging onto All Might's leg, and then they land.
What are you doing?
And blood is coming out of his mouth, and I think he actually says shit in the Japanese version too. Like, he's like, shit.
Oh yeah, Sonic does too, and
but it's something where it's like, yeah, that's appropriate to the situation because he's in a spot, so.
And you also find out eventually All Might spent some time in America where he might have picked up a few English words.
Teleport to me, please.
Sorry.
What?
No, I'm asking someone to teleport me to Aquan. I can't reach him.
Oh.
Jeez. Anyways,
She built like this giant tower of black glass so I can reach where I can't reach because I don't have any cobblestone.
That's not why I did it. I was just building stuff. That's what you do in Minecraft.
Thank you.
Found this, and I wanted to explore. Do you have any torches?
Yes, I do. I have all the torches.
Start placing some then, so we can explore this, as I can say what I wanted to say. So, in Sonic X, the anime... Oh, wow, it ends here. That's boring. In the Sonic X anime, Sonic, actually, in the Japanese version, there was some cussing added in, which was funny. Including canon cussing, because it wasn't in the English show because of 4Kids, but in the Japanese language... Okay, so in the anime, Sonic says a lot of English, like, English words in Japanese, but says them in the English language.
Right.
And he says, there's one point where where he gets spotted by, like, these cameras or something, and then he literally just says, shit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he literally just says that word, and it's funny, because it's in Sonic of all things. Yeah. And you thought Shadow the Hedgehog was the edgiest they'd been with cussing, but that's, like, a tier 2 bad word.
Right.
So,
it's funny, because you see that type of stuff in kids shows in Japan sometimes, which is funny, like Kanjiki no Gash Bell, which I mentioned earlier. There's a character named Patty who's basically like Gash's stalker, but basically when she shows up, she Gash has lost his memory of his time in the demon world, and she in the demon world had given him a fish, which it was a pun because koi in Japanese is a type of fish, but it can also mean love. So so she had given him her koi, because and it was meant to be a gesture of affection. Anyway, so she's trying to, she's upset that he doesn't remember her, and he ends up, and she's scaring him, which makes it even worse, So finally, when she gets super exasperated with him, and in English she goes, "God damn you!"
God damn you!
Nice. It's just fucking hilarious.
Well, if we're talking about shockingly adult things in Sonic X, in the Japanese version, there's a scene where Rouge gets arrested, and they put handcuffs on her, and she makes a joke about being kinky in the bedroom.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
That's par for the course for that character.
Yeah, that fits her, honestly.
And ironically enough, I heard about it through a channel called Censored Gaming.
And Sonic X. Go on.
Maybe they had a spin-off channel called Censored Anime, but anyway, it was still kind of funny.
Yeah, Sonic X was one of those 4Kids anime that had a lot of censorship because Sonic X had guns in it had swearing, it had blood, and 4Kids didn't like any of that, so they cut it all out. Just like they did. Okay, definitely One Piece is the worst 4Kids dubbed anime ever in history.
What about the? Hold on a minute. What about the Kirby anime? What happened to that? Huh?
The Kirby anime was mostly, I think, one of 4Kids' best dubbed anime. Reason being is that Kirby was already meant for kids in Japan.
Yeah, it was 4Kids in the first place.
There were very few edits. Like there was this Halloween special episode where they had to edit some scenes out that were deemed too violent. Like this scene where they were making a parody of this really old, or a reference to this really old movie, where we see what looks to be a silhouette of Escargoon getting murdered in a bathroom, and it's like a silhouette of him like bleeding. And it's
did they do like a psycho?
Yeah, it was a psycho
montage.
Yeah, it was like a psycho reference. There was also blood coming, like what looked to be blood coming out of this fountain in that episode that was also censored very badly and poorly by 4Kids. But yeah, the Sonic X censors some of them were pretty bad. Badly done.
I need gunpowder.
So yeah, but it brought me back to thinking there was a scene in Sonic X where it was important to the plot, but it got censored because it was deemed too violent, and it was where Chris got like injured badly by one of the villains in the 3rd season, and Sonic was very angered by this, and this is when he went to the only time we ever see this outside of the comics, his Dark Sonic form, and goes in
Dark Sonic form? Wait a minute.
Dark Sonic is shown to be more powerful than Super Sonic, and just destroys 2 of the strongest mechs that the alien race has in one shot, one fell swoop.
I'm sorry, did you just say Dark Shadow form or whatever?
Dark Sonic, yeah. It's a form that was like in the anime.
I don't think I've ever seen Sonic anime before.
It's pretty good, honestly. I wouldn't say it's the best thing, but it's worth watching if you like Sonic that much. Like,
yeah,
I don't think I'd watch
to be honest. But I know my brother is.
All I'm gonna say is if you're gonna
won't stop watching Let's Plays of Sonic Heroes.
All I'm gonna say is if you're gonna watch Sonic X, watch the Japanese version. It's not hard to find.
Yeah.
It's just because the only 4Kids dub anime I've ever liked was Pokemon Indigo League, and the reason why is they added in some pretty funny lines of dialogue.
The Indigo
League? Oh yeah, she could violate my rights at any time.
Right.
Yeah, stuff like that, or like.
Now that's got to be an innuendo.
Wait, hold on.
Or like James saying, "Oh, when he sees the giant Dragonite, oh, so size really does matter."
Right.
There's a lot of lines added in by 4Kids with Pokemon. Okay, why do you add these in, yet you censor the Tauros episode? Or
hold on.
Because having guns pointed at a kid's head is going to be traumatic.
Hold on.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I think that's why they banned that, yet didn't ban the other gun episodes. But
I'm sure any depiction of any gun now is going to be banned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, like
Hello?
after the whole incident with the guns in the Taros episode, Nintendo basically went, "Hey, guns don't exist in this world. Stop putting them in this anime." Like,
yeah, because there were multiple episodes that had guns, and only one of them got banned. There was also the inflatable breast episode that got banned.
The thing is, that episode got aired later on, but because there were a bunch of episodes that were banned initially, and then they were dubbed later and added in.
Yeah.
Like,
Not Electric Soldier Porygon.
No, Electric Soldier Porygon is banned in Japan still. Like they won't air it. Like, and in fact, ever since that episode, no version of any Porygon form has appeared in the Pokemon anime.
Yeah, it's true. It sucks because I love Porygon Z.
It's funny too because Pikachu was the culprit. It was Pikachu's lightning bolts added to the red and blue background that caused the seizures, but Porygon ended up becoming the scapegoat. So
of course, because you can't have the mascot of your massively popular character be banned from the show or blamed for the problem.
Right.
Also, okay, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say what was it? The thing is, I think it's really more the association because the episode was called Electric Soldier Porygon. So I think that if they put any sort of Porygon in the anime, then they run the risk of viewers Googling the term Porygon and what might come up. You know?
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah,
see you later, Caps.
That infamous episode has actually impacted TV and animation heavily ever since.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, I noticed it, and it got really irritating when I was binge watching through Clone Wars and Rebels on Disney Plus. Anytime there was a intense lightsaber battle between the heroes and the Inquisitors or what have you, the brightness of the screen would automatically go dark like 5 notches.
Huh.
Because anytime a lightsaber would clash, it would cause a bit of a flash.
Yeah.
So they do stuff like that in the Star Wars shows, and then when you're watching something like, My Hero Academia, and you've got bright effects happening, or about to happen, because of clashes of punches, or Deku powering up to full cowling or whatever, in that final battle, the Chisaikai, or however it's pronounced, you notice that overhaul, the brightness of the screen goes down a handful of notches, and it's really annoying. No, it's out of an overabundance of caution, but I'm still gonna gripe about it.
Right. Well, and also for about a decade after that, there you started seeing warnings at the beginning of any animated show, telling people to watch in a well-lit area and don't sit too close to the screen.
Yeah, that episode impacted animation a lot.
Because they put some regulations in place, I guess, to kind of try to mitigate the issue.
It sucks that Porygon has never made it to any animated Pokemon series, nor have any.
Speaking of Pokemon, can I speak now?
Oh, can you not?
I was about to say, 30 minutes ago, or I don't know how long ago. What is the Indigo League?
Indigo League is the first 50-something episodes of the original Pokemon anime. It's when
From Ash's. Yeah.
I never knew there was something like that.
It's when Ash was in Kanto doing the Indigo League.
Is there just a reanimated version of the first few episodes of the first season or some shit?
No, that's what it's always been called. It's always been called Indigo League.
The season is called Indigo League because the Indigo Plateau is where the Elite Four is located.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's Indigo.
Yeah, it's called Indigo League. That's just what the series how there's
box sets for it. They're called Indigo League.
Yeah, just like how Johto Journeys, Advanced Battle, Diamond Pearl, Diamond Pearl Platinum.
Oh, I didn't know it was called that. Jeez, why didn't nobody tell me this?
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's all just marketing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah. So Electric Soldier Porygon. sadly ruined Porygon for the anime, because Porygon Z is one of my favorite normal types, and it sucks that, thanks to that, it's never going to be in the anime ever again.
Pokemon, Porygon did nothing wrong. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I was about to say, before everyone started talking, no offense to anyone, no one did anything wrong, it's just that I wanted to say something. There was this Twitter controversy that happened like a year ago or so with the Pokemon company. Made this innocent meme tweet that triggered so many people to try to cancel Pokemon because they made a tweet saying Porygon did nothing wrong. The official Pokemon company said that, and then like people were saying they're like comparing it to like the people that say like, oh, Hitler did nothing wrong and stuff like, and they tried to cancel Pokemon for that quote, for that tweet, and it was so stupid.
You want to know why I laugh at that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not psychotic.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was a funny tweet, you know, because literally Porygon did nothing wrong. It was Pikachu, and we could have Porygon in the anime if it wasn't for that.
Right.
The more times I hear crazy stuff like this becoming mainstream, the more I think it would be a great idea to start adding fluoxetine to the water supply across the globe, because everybody is literally going crazy.
Yep.
Honestly, you know what needs to be canceled? Cancel culture.
What?
Just
yes.
It's fascistic.
It's toxic. It's not helping anybody at this point.
What needs to be canceled?
Cancel culture itself.
Cancel culture itself? I have no idea what that is.
It's like this thing where people try to remove someone from everything, every platform, just because they said
someone or something. You know, they try to remove them from the media because they did or said something mildly offensive. Like, the thing is, cancel culture had its place when it was being used for, you know, like rapists or, you know, people who routinely committed sexual harassment, stuff like that. But it's outlived its usefulness, kind of like labor unions, where they're doing more harm than good at this point for a lot of people. You know?
Yeah.
Besides, now it comes from a spirit of the same kind of genocide that Hitler started.
Right.
And if you look at the origins of the term social justice warrior, you'll find the Nazi brown shirts and the jackboots right behind it.
Yeah.
And yet, most of the people who are using it are basically accusing everybody else of being Nazis and so on and so forth. It's sickening. It's people either don't understand history and are trying to justify their atrocities by imagined slights, like saying the wrong thing and ruffling someone's feathers, and are trying to cause what most people would call a gentle genocide. There's nothing gentle. There's nothing gentle about removing someone from their ability to exist in society, put food on their table, and feed their families, and, you know, exist.
They have no common decency for anyone else. And it's really sociopathic and narcissistic and self-centered, and that's how a lot of these people are.
Well, and that's the thing is, you know, these people like to refer to themselves as social justice warriors and all this other shit. The real truth here is that these people who are, you know, doing stuff like, you know, making Netflix adaptations of He-Man and where they really, you know, demasculate or emasculate the male characters and, you know, promote, you know, females and whatnot. What that's really doing is it's basically saying, oh, you're not good enough unless you take out all the men around you. You know, like it's not a healthy message to send to women. You know, women can be just fine on their own without having to steal a man's identity. You know, like yeah,
it's what's been ruining a lot of these things for me.
Yeah,
and the other half of that part of the equation is that not only are they emasculating men, they're defeminizing women.
Right. Yeah. They're instead of having women with attractive proportions and whatnot, they have these stick figures or these bloated, grotesque fat women because they're trying to promote body type diversity. And the thing is, they're doing it to characters that were originally slim and well proportioned and everything like that. Like, you know, because They're doing it to characters that are involved in like reboots, and it's like, if you want to have a character that has those types of proportions, make a new character. Don't screw with an existing character for your stupid propaganda bullshit.
That's part of the problem I have. And they don't just do it with weight either. The sad part is, and it's actually racist of them to do this, but they do it of race too.
Yeah, well,
like,
and that's the thing is. They recently did a thing, I think it was in the comics, where they made the Falcon Captain America. He's like, oh, I'm somehow better now because I'm Captain America. And it's like, no, you just ruined it. You just basically said, oh, my identity as a black superhero isn't good enough, so I need to steal this white superhero's identity to somehow make myself better.
Yep. Yeah, they say they do it.
Sam Wilson Captain America thing is actually a good few years old.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's something that you don't need to do.
Yeah, the problem is they've been doing it with a lot of movie adaptations and reruns of comics, and it's in a very mean-spirited way, because they could easily do diversity by introducing a new character who has their own personality and traits and such, but rather they take a character change something about the character drastically, but keep the same personality, or worse, change the character's personality to make them unlikable or really annoying. And they've done that in a lot of medias, sadly, recently, and they say it's for diversity, but in reality, it's actually racist and sexist or whatever.
Well, that's because the thing. If the same thing were being done the other way around, people would be throwing a fit. There'd be like rioting in the fucking streets. Like, if I came out and announced that I was doing a remake of Shaft and that I was gonna have Vin Diesel play the character, people would be fucking pissed. Yeah,
they get mad the other way around, and it's not just annoying about the hypocrisy, because the hypocrisy definitely annoys me, but what annoys me also, and maybe even more, is the fact that they are using it to justify their own quote anti-racism when they're being racist themselves by saying, oh, we can't just introduce a black character who has their own personality. We have to take a pre-existing character and change their skin color and make them fat.
Yeah, it's...
Then when they get any backlash, they use Darvo tactics.
Yeah.
Which is an acronym for Deny, Attack, Reverse Victim Offender.
Right.
Wherein they will create an offense like canceling Henry Cavill as Superman and replacing him with Michael B. Jordan, and make him be the new canon Superman for the DC movie universe. And when anybody cries about it, they say, "Oh no, you're being racist, closed-minded, etc., etc." When they've got characters in their back pockets that they could make black superhero movies of. They could do a Green Lantern movie with Jon Stewart. I'd be perfectly happy. They could do a Static Shock live-action adaptation and have him get his superpowers from a Black Lives Matter rally. But no, they're not going to do that. They want to attack our established characters and tick off everybody who's been a fan of these franchises and characters for eons, and basically give the middle finger to everybody who loves these characters and who hold the values that they represent.
Right. It's something where
they've openly admitted in some trade circles that if they even tried to put together their own gay, black, lesbian, whatever superheroes out of the blue, they know they'd be rejected. So that's why they do this.
Right. But the thing is, if you present it well, it's still possible. And that's the thing, you don't have to do it out of the blue. If you're let's say I wanted to introduce a gay or lesbian superhero, what I would do is I would start out by just introducing them as like a side character in something else, which plenty of heroes that are around today were introduced as side characters in other things. Wolverine first appeared in Incredible Hulk issue 111. So it's something where you start out by introducing them as a side character, and then gradually build up on the amount of time that they get, and the character development they get, and then you bring up the fact that they have a different sexual orientation and whatnot, and that it's something that's always been part of the character. But they don't have to be in everybody's face about it,
Yeah, it doesn't. I was about to say, it doesn't be their personality, because that's the problem. Is when they make these token characters, as they're called in the media, they make it, almost all of them have that as their personality.
Right, yeah. It's an orientation, not a personality. It's something where, when you meet a gay or lesbian person on the street, they don't walk up and go, "Hi, I'm gay!" They're not just like shoving their dick in your face trying to get you to suck it right off the bat. It's something where, they're going to be, most of them are actually pretty private and reserved about their orientation, for the most part. Unless they're in a situation where they're, looking for romance, like they're in a bar or something like that. But, like I said, it's something where I feel like in a lot of media, we see these types of characters portrayed as an affiliate, rather than having a really deep personality or anything, they're just a sexual orientation or a skin color. They're like they in trying to be diverse and having a diverse cast, you basically end up portraying that character as a stereotype. And that's a lot of the time more harmful than than just portraying the character normally. So I feel like saying that basically saying, I can't make an interesting or relatable gay character is, basically just saying you're terrible at writing and you should just stop trying to be doing stuff in entertainment if that's the case. You could become a producer and produce for somebody who can make that type of character, or write that type of movie for you.
Yeah.
So
should take some inspiration with the differences between early Daredevil comics and Miss Marvel comics. Case in point, within like the first issue of Miss Marvel, it is hammered over your head what religion she is and how she's constrained by it, and her families are jerks with it and all that jazz. On the other hand, Daredevil is a Catholic character, and that drives a good core of his personality, but you don't get into that till several issues.
Yeah.
Because the writing is that good.
Yeah.
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 So that's what you should do. Focus on making him be a good character, get good drama, make the character relatable with something other than your religious or political subtext, and then you work it in easily. You try to work it in like a fine tapestry.
Right.
Not just, this giant virtue signal that's going to fly up in the sky. Right. If someone ever creates a CJ signal, I swear, the minute I see it, I'll pack my bags and leave town for a couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's something where I feel like saying, I feel like stealing another character's identity is a cop-out, and it's not something that's going to be well received. I think the Marvel and DC universes in particular are more susceptible to it than other things, because you can just write it off as, it's an alternate universe, so the character could be whatever race we want.
To a certain extent.
I mean, like I said, it's not. I think if you do it too much, then at some point it's like, why not just make a whole different cast of characters? But it's something where you do get. I think that because of the way that the Marvel has canon alternate worlds, it does sort of make sense that there would be worlds where people have. People are like super different like that,
Right. Well, they've already established, thanks to Loki and the upcoming Spider-Man No Way Home, that there can be various variants of each individual character.
Right.
So that makes anyone in a scant few who could possibly be upset by the fantastic Samuel L. Jackson portrayal of Nick Fury, they could say, hey, well, it's not my canon, or that's a variant based on this universe, etc., etc.
Right, exactly, and that's what I'm saying is that is that you're not replacing the red-headed white Nick Fury with the black Nick Fury. He's just a Nick Fury from a different universe. He's an alternate universe or alternate timeline Nick Fury who exists concurrently with the regular version. So it's not something where you're completely eliminating that character. It's just a alternate universe version of it happening. Now that said, like I said, when you start doing that too much, where you're literally just replacing people's genders and ethnicities and sexual preferences, at some point you're going to lose what originally got people interested in those stories in the first place.
Right.
Like the more you change something, the less like the original it becomes, and the more you risk erasing that magic that got people involved with those characters to begin with. And I'm not saying that it's bad to change characters. There have been tons of superheroes who have undergone numerous changes for the better over the course of their lives. Like, if you look at the Green Lantern's original outfit, Jesus Christ, what were they thinking? Like, the new Green Lantern looks way better by a lot. Like, if you look at Green Lantern's original outfit, like how Hal Jordan originally looked when he put the fucking Green Lantern suit on, it's like a red suit with a cape. And it's like, why is there so much red in your outfit? You're the Green Lantern. What the fuck?
Is that the iteration where wood was his weakness?
I'm not sure, but it's something where the original Green Lantern had some design issues, and eventually they had somebody come in and redesign the Green Lantern and Aquaman around the same time, and both ended up way better as a result. I think it was the Green Lantern and the Flash, or the Green Lantern, the Flash, and Aquaman all got redesigns around the same time, something like that.
The Flash had like a upside down silver serving platter on his head.
Like,
yeah,
it was
it's like a silver serving platter.
He had a bowl with wings attached to it on it. It was worse than Thor's helmet. Like,
They were actually going to do the whole winged helmet thing for the good chunk of the first Thor MCU movie, but it just became too unwieldy when they were trying to film that one scene at the ceremony or wherever.
Yeah, it's really funny.
It just kept falling off, getting in the way, and actually hurting Hemsworth's his head.
Yeah.
So they said, "Can we just ditch this?" I'm like, okay.
Well, it's funny because Wolverine doesn't wear a mask in the X-Men movies for a similar reason. They when they were doing costume design, like they had numerous iterations of Wolverine's mask, because it's kind of an iconic part of the character, and the consensus by the end of all the different designs that they trotted out was, you try making a mask for this character that doesn't look like he's on the way to Mardi Gras, like it's just something that did not work well in 3D. Like, it's in 2D you can kind of bend the rules of physics and whatnot a little bit and make it look good from any angle you want. You don't have that luxury when you put a 3D mask on somebody's face.
Maybe not, because they were able to get a cheesy costume that looked just like Captain America's work in the first Avenger.
Yeah. Also, there is a 3D model version of the costume for Wolverine, because the game X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is the only good interpretation of that movie, because it's a heavily violent Wolverine M-rated game with lots of gore and stuff that you see from like the 90s Wolverine.
Right.
But, anyways, there is a secret costume you can unlock in that game. That's the original Wolverine one, and it actually looks pretty good.
Right. No, I realize that you can unlock the costume in the video game and that it looks fine, but when they try to make a real version of it and put it on like an actual person, and they're going to be moving around. Because video games can also ignore the laws of physics to an extent. So you don't have a lot of the same problems. Like when he turns his head, the little things are going to like be flapping around. Like it's just something that probably did not look very good. And if they had added it to the movie, people would have hated it. So they just went without it.
There was the deleted scene where he gets. It's like at the end of the Wolverine, where he gets the classic brown and gold outfit as a gift, but of course he never puts it on whatsoever.
Right.
And it's mostly because of the fact that when they conceived the X-Men movies, they looked at what they felt didn't really work about the superhero movies that did poorly for it, like Batman Returns, or not Batman Returns, Batman and Robin and so forth. And so they decided, well, the Matrix was really cool, and those characters are wearing like all black, so let's kind of go with that, because it's gonna be a real tough sell to get a superhero movie out there, and they're wearing these bright neon outfits in the middle of the day.
Right.
So that's partially the reason why there was all the black leather and so forth.
Right.
And that joke where Logan says,
Would you
really
prefer
go out in
blue and
these?
yellow spandex?
Yeah, that was kind of a middle finger to the purists.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the original purpose of those outfits, story-wise, would have been to kind of show everybody, hey, we're the good guys, but the era where only bad guys wear black ended a long ass fucking time ago. So
right.
So yeah, it's something where I personally didn't have a problem with putting the X-Men in black outfits in the movie.
Plus, of course, it was the beginning of the edgy aughts. So it's kind of an era, is a product of its time, so to speak. And thankfully, the old X-Men franchise has been put out the pasture, and there's going to be probably a near-decade waiting period before we get X-Men in the MCU. Much less any mutant cameos.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but
Yeah, it'd be cool to see actually, brain farted now. I don't know what to say, but
Sorry for derailing your train of thought.
Yeah. Yeah, the game is pretty fun. You know what I'm talking about, right? The one from the Xbox, PC, and
the X-Men Origins Wolverine game.
Yeah.
I played the snot
Hunger
out of that.
I loaned it to Hunger back in the day. It was a fun fact. The reason why the game turned out to be so fantastic is because developer Raven, if I remember correctly, they were actually in the process of putting together a Wolverine game already at that time. So they already had the engine and the overall concept ready. Almost literally all they had to do was change a few things for the story concept, and they hadn't even gotten the main cutscenes of the movie, or the movie cutscenes together yet. So all they had to do is like a quick pivot, and that's why that game was so fantastic. It was already being put together as its own thing. And that never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's a really good game, though, honestly. One of my favorite parts about it is the healing factor on Wolverine is like real time, so it looks really cool.
Oh yeah, you can walk around looking like a walking, talking hamburger, and then if you literally watch the bones and sinew and everything form back in real time, it's both hideously disgusting and great to watch at the same time.
Yeah. Also, using cheat codes in the game, if you give yourself invincibility, you can make yourself look like the Terminator on certain levels, where you get rockets fired at you.
Didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. Anyway, Solus, sorry for interrupting what you want to say. I know you're probably trying to get some words in, and I apologize.
I think you ducked out again.
Yeah. Darn. That's gonna happen. But anyways, yeah. I heard they're making a new Wolverine game.
Yes, Insomniac is gonna knock it out of the park, just like they did Spider-Man.
Yeah, they said that they're also going for a mature themed. I don't know if it's gonna be rated M like the original Wolverine 3D game on the 360.
If it isn't, they better really knock it out of the park, because a PG-13 Wolverine game or a teen-rated Wolverine game after that fantastic one we just spoke of, it won't fly.
Oh yeah, no, they have to. They're gonna have to actually top the Wolverine game that I just mentioned, because they're gonna have to do the same thing with the healing. Because the Deadpool game actually is a similar healing factor. While it's not as detailed as the one in Wolverine, it's still pretty neat. The Deadpool game is nowhere near as good as the X-Men Wolverine game, though. Not saying that it is as good.
Deadpool game is borderline trash.
Yep. It is. It is
but
bad.
But he does go bungee jumping using his intestines as a bungee cord.
Yes, there are some funny moments. The game has its moments, for sure.
I thought the cutscenes were for sure hilarious. Gameplay-wise, I can't vouch for it. I haven't really played much of it yet.
I can vouch for its garbageness.
Yeah. Anyway. Garbacity.
Yeah, it's garbacity. I mean, it's not absolutely horrible. I know High Moon could have done better. It's hard to say how much of its crappiness was part of the joke of the game, and how much of it was time constraints and budgetary constraints.
Alright.
Mm-hmm.
My gosh. Much build. Oh hey, it's a zombie villager. Hi, zombie villager. How are you doing? Want to die?
Hi, zombie villager.
Yeah, bye, zombie villager. It was nice to see you again.
Nice to see you, zombie villager.
Oh my gosh. This is fucking crazy.
This is insane.
It's just this.
Yeah,
I've extended this moat so far now. Like.
You are insane.
Honestly, the undermoat area is, you know, like it's pretty wild. You almost had diarrhea. Why? Why would you mention that? Like, and why would you spell it that way? Oh gosh. Amazing. Diarrhea.
Swing and a miss.
the Italian localization of that Bruce Willis movie.
Say what?
Okay, so Hutch mentioned that he almost had diarrhea this morning, but he misspelled it horribly. He spelled it die-har-ia.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, like Die Hard.
Yeah, and so Rubia says that diarrhea is the Italian localization of that Bruce Willis movie, isn't it?
That's actually not a bad joke.
Yeah, it's a disease where you develop the uncontrollable urge to watch Bruce Willis movies.
So he's basically just saying he's gonna die hard in
All
Rhea.
right.
Inside some person named Rhea.
We'll stop rambling on, see if we get some words in.
I don't care about that. Just
It sounds like you do.
I don't know, dude.
Oh my god.
Well, if anybody wants their weekly dose of depression induction, I can give another update on how things are going in my neck of the woods.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to give my condolences and everything if you like
Hutch
to
has
share.
diarrhea of the mouth.
But I don't know if everyone wants to hear about it or not. Like, I mean, I'll hear about it, but I mean, Solus sounds like he's kind of in a bad mood right now, so I don't know.
Anyway.
If he wants to get into worse.
You can tell me after the stream's over. If you're still up, that is.
What do you mean?
After you can just tell me after the stream's done.
I can tell you what, or are you talking about Siege?
Whatever's going on in your name.
Oh my god.
You mean me or Siege?
Yeah, you.
Oh, me? I wasn't gonna say anything. Siege was gonna say something.
Oh. Never mind.
Is it alright if he tells about it? Because it is better for when it's out to indulge him in. Most of the time. Most of the time it's better to let things out than hold it in, so...
You should look at your DMs, by the way.
Yeah, you don't have to tell us what's been happening if you don't want to, Siege, but we're here to listen.
Appreciate it. I'm trying to summarize and organize my thoughts for the moment. She's having more intense dreams / hallucinations, and they are disturbing her as much as everyone else. Most recently, I called her yesterday, or no, it was yesterday. And when I spoke to her, she's like, "Oh my God, I was just told you were dead." And she said that she had been talked to by the police, that I had been killed, her brother had been killed, her sister had been killed in a shootout or something at her apartment. And she was completely inconsolable for a full day at the nursing home. Then when I called her, she's like, "Oh my God, is this real?" I said, "Yes, this is me. This is real." And it was just the day after I'd visited her personally.
Jeez.
Tomorrow is going to be her last day on these powerful IV antibiotics. And because of these powerful, disturbing hallucinations and delusions and so forth, they were calling my uncle and then me to ask if it was okay to give her an antipsychotic drug. And I had to make the hard decision to pass on that because part of what has caused these hallucinations is the doctor on staff decided to give her a different kind of pain pill than the one that she's been taking for years for some reason, and she turned out to be allergic to it. And that has caused her to start with these super powerful hallucinations. So I said, well, she's got the kidney failure that's making it difficult for her to metabolize and work with these antibiotics and causing these hallucinations to begin with. So what I would want to do is wait until a couple days at least have passed and see if she gets any better before we add any more drugs to her system. Because who knows what additional problems we may cause.
Yeah.
And to add on to all of this, her insurance company is trying to have her kicked out approximately 20 days earlier than she's supposed to be sent home because she's not been cooperating with the physical therapy. And she's not cooperating with the physical therapy because the antibiotics are causing these hallucinations and also probably draining most of her energy. So, on top of this, They are trying to talk to me about getting power of attorney, which means I'm in charge of all of her financial affairs and so on and so forth. And I don't want to jump the gun on this. Because if there's even the slightest chance that she can bounce back from this, as she has done before, and regain her independence, I want to give her every possible chance to do so. Even though the writing's on the wall and it doesn't look too good.
Right.
So I have a 3-part job in the next couple days to get the ball rolling on an extension for her insurance to keep her at the place she's at, applying to Medicaid for her, and getting a letter to start the power of attorney process.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's really bad. Things like schizophrenia and all that are really terrible. Like,
well, and she hasn't been diagnosed with any sort of mental illness. It's it's literally only started recently.
I gotta walk all the way to my greenhouse.
Yeah, it's the things that happen in old age, sadly.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it just snowballed from late May. Series of an accident and a series of really big mistakes on multiple ends. It's just been a spiraling snowball of pain and suffering all around.
Alright, I have breaking news from the YouTube chat. Hutch McGehee is going to bed. He wishes everybody good night. Good night, Hutch.
Good night, Hutch.
You have an applause meme or sound effect?
I got something better. Hang on. Let's get this meme out. Ready for this?
I don't have the pleasure of 2 screens.
Alright, here we go. Alright, anyway,
Which meme was it?
Hallelujah.
Oh.
Hallelujah.
Made me happy to
From the Hallelujah chorus?
Yeah, exactly.
Hallelujah. It made me happy to hear Solus laugh.
Oh, man.
No.
As far as how I'm handling this,
I wasn't.
I went to the doctor the other day, and it's really frustrating.
Okay, Solus, you don't need to get mad at this. Just let Siege finish. Siege is talking about something really important right now, so you can have your word in after this.
I went to the doctor, and it was both relieving and frustrating at the same time, because I'm still having symptoms, but according to the tests that I've undergone so far, they can't find anything that's too worrying. So I don't necessarily have a heart problem, but I may have a vein problem. And it may simply be that I have to radically change my diet again after my blood work comes back in. And I haven't been able to get my blood work because of various frustrations.
That sucks. I hope we get that all sorted out, man. All this stuff. I hope we get it all sorted out.
Appreciate it.
I really wish you and your mom the best of luck and everything with this whole situation, and I hope she stops having hallucinations and everything. Because that sounds really rough.
Oh my gosh. Christ.
Okay, so I'll check our DMs. I tab out. It's gonna disconnect me though, but okay, let's see. Wow, I have a lot of DMs from people.
Huh?
Okay.
What the heck? This thing out here looks like a giant sword.
Cool. I like swords.
So do I.
Yay. Okay.
Swords are alright, depending on the type. I tend to prefer like other weapons though. Playing Dark Souls and using a war pick. It's quite a bit of fun.
Huh, I have no idea what this is supposed to be.
So do you use a war pick to pick fights? Sorry, that's really bad.
Or less.
Hilarious.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just giant structure that kind of looks like it's a sword leaning to the left. It's leaning to one side depending on your perspective. It's like big and black and looks like a jumble of various pieces. Really weird. This is like out in the open, not like in the dungeon or nothing. Position 355, comma 72, comma 7, minus 77 or so. Really weird.
Yeah.
I'm just off hunting for a birch tree, like chopping one down.
Okay.
Oh, but I forgot my axe. Good grief.
Nope.
Farming and beekeeping.
Okay, well, we can put that there. Put that there. Much moat. Alright.
Yeah, the big sword-like thing is pretty close to where the Giga Cactus is.
I hate that it kicks me from the realm whenever I tab out to answer these DMs.
It's right at the armpit of Solus' Sanctum.
Yeah. Again, I feel bad for kind of rambling on because Solus wanted to say something, and I get where he's coming from because I used to be the same when I was like 10. But yeah, I'm sorry that came out rude, but I used to be the same. I didn't like having people say something that I was gonna say because I felt the need I needed to say it. And I know Solus does it, and it's to get social acceptance for people so they'll be his friend. And I understand that. It's definitely not the best method of obtaining friendship, but it does make me feel bad for him, and I do want to help him out. Like, I do want to help you out, Solus, if you're still here. To instead of complaining if someone says something you're gonna say because you wanted people to know that you know it instead of that person. Instead, you can get to know that person as a friend and say, "Oh, hey, we both like the same stuff," or something like that.
Sure.
I'm sorry if I upset you somehow. I really don't want this to be depression stream, so let's.
Welcome to the Anti-Prozac podcast.
Yeah. In other words, apparently one of the Venom 2 trailers did say something about did say that the universe is expanding or something like that.
Huh.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know if they just said that, or if that means that they're tying Venom into the Spider-Man Spider-Man multiverse thing that's about to happen, or what have you. Because again, Spider-Man, even though it is MCU now, is still owned by Sony, so they can still put these other characters in. Thanks to this multiverse movie, since the movie with Venom definitely is too edgy to fit in with the MCU, because the MCU has always been more family-friendly, less cussing. Venom has a lot of cussing.
I mean, did you see that? Did you see Iron Man fuck a chick in the first Iron Man movie?
I mean, there was...
That was That was during the Paramount era.
That shit's not exactly family friendly. I'm just saying.
They won't do that. They won't do that now.
Well, yeah.
Now the MCU. That was early MCU. That was like
now it's the Disney U. Like
yeah. Even though the MCU is really family friendly, and that's why I feel I don't know how they'll connect Venom if they're gonna bring Venom and Morbius in, because Venom again was had a lot of swearing in it, something you really don't see in the MCU. It had more violence, more blood, and definitely doesn't fit in Spider-Man's movies.
They could do Into the Venomverse and just have a massive crossover with all the Venoms they've done so far.
Yeah, the just crap on the really terrible one from the third Spider-Man movie.
Well, if you remember, around the time that Far From Home was in theaters, Sony basically created a very public spat with Disney, leveraging the fans against them, and they managed to get more favorable terms, but it only added one more Spider-Man solo movie and one more miscellaneous Marvel movie for Spidey to show back up in.
Yeah.
So what I would expect to happen is if or when negotiations break down, or Sony just grows a bigger set of cojones, is they will yank Spidey back out through No Way Home or Multiverse of Madness, and he gets sucked into the Sony universe of Marvel characters to possibly never return from.
Yeah, I really hope they do that, and the reason why I hope they do that is because a lot of Spider-Man's villains don't fit in the MCU, because despite Spider-Man being like this, he was originally meant to be like a more kid-friendly hero that kids could relate to, but later in like the 80s and 90s, they wrote a lot of characters like Venom and then even Carnage and all the other symbiotes, and not just the symbiotes, but characters like Morbius and such, characters who were a lot more vile and evil for kid standards.
Right.
That definitely wouldn't fit in the MCU, and if they put them in the MCU, they'd have to tone them down, and it would definitely ruin them. So,
and not necessarily, because they've scrambled aspects of the various villains and made them work in the MCU so far.
It's just I wonder how they've
worked out fine.
I just don't want them to ruin like Venom or Carnage, if you know what I mean. Like,
Sony will do that eventually.
Yeah, Sony sadly might.
Don't worry, I have faith in their ability to ruin things. Anyway.
The reviews for Venom 2 have been pretty good from what I've seen, so
that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
Happy
Honestly,
for Venom, not for Sony.
Venom 1, even though critics hated Venom 1, I loved it, and so did the other. Most of the audience loved it, because I can see why the critics hated it, because in terms of a movie, it wasn't all over the place, but it was a lot of action and not too much story, but that's what makes Venom a good movie. Is it has that 80s comic book, action to it, non-stop action, as opposed to tons of monologuing. Like they get the point across that, oh hey, Drake wants to bring all these symbiotes to Earth alongside of Riot, start an invasion, and then little does Drake know this, or actually no, Drake actually wants to use the symbiotes to, in sort of quote, save humanity, because he has this god complex, but in reality, the symbiotes are just going to feast off of a bunch of people. A bunch of people are going to die because they won't achieve symbiosis, and but to get the point across that Venom originally wanted to invade Earth as well, but then he was like, hey, I found someone that's a loser like me, so... And I do like how they adapted that comic arc from Venom, how he's a loser in his planet. But yeah, so they might do it good. But yeah, what Siege said could be pretty cool if they did that. If for No Way Home they bring Spider-Man back to the Sony movies, and this time, since Sony's gotten better with their writing, at least with Venom 1 and from Venom 2, might actually have even better writing.
I just want to know, where the heck is the Morbius movie? Because we were supposedly supposed to have it by now.
Yeah, where is it? Why'd they delay it?
Well, that's exactly what I'm asking.
Probably the same reason why they delayed Venom 2.
They're delaying it so they can do a tie-in with Where's Waldo. They're gonna do a Where's Waldo movie, and you have to find the Morbius movie in there. Like,
Where's Waldo? Oh, here's the Amazing Spider-Man 3 that never came out. Green Goblin as the villain instead of yeah.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that, especially looking at the No Way Home trailer, like for the 50th time, I realized that after, of course, considering what they did with Loki and explaining the concept of variants, I'm not so certain that if they have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the movie, I don't think all those extra characters are going to be exactly the versions from the Raimi or Mark or John Watts, or was it?
yeah.
Basically, I think they're going to be real similar, but kind of off-brand versions of all those characters.
Yeah, so they don't have to go back. Yeah, because they don't want to have to go back frame by frame of the movies. Although I'd love if they did that attention to detail and be like, oh hey, it's the exact same guy. But yeah, it would be cool to see what they do.
Because I mean, if you look at the Doc Ock in the trailer, he looks a bit off.
He does.
And I know it has a lot to do with the de-aging and deep faking that they're doing with him, but still.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, he's got the voice, but he does not look like. He looks a lot different. Like,
yeah,
he looks almost clay-like. Like you can tell it's CGI. Like,
yeah, and I did see someone's mock-up of what the Green Goblin could look like, and they added some purple to the outfit.
I really hope. Even okay, as much as cool as it would be to have it be the comic Green Goblin, it looks like it's going to be Raimi's Green Goblin. So, as much as I prefer the comic Green Goblin suit or body, I guess I prefer the armor. I think the armor looks cool. Honestly, it's grown on me.
Did you ever see that? Sorry,
I was saying that the Raimi armor has kind of grown on me. So.
Did you ever see like that behind-the-scenes look at what was going to be the Goblin's face mask?
No, I haven't.
It was this handcrafted thing that would mold over the actor's face, and it made him really look a whole lot like the Goblin from the comics.
Oh, that's cool.
It had the purple hooded hat and everything on it as well. I mean, it looked awesome, but I guess Willem Dafoe said, can't I just wear like a motorcycle helmet or something?
Yeah, I guess
because it looked like it would be really tedious to get in and out of the makeup chair.
Yeah.
But it looked so amazing.
It probably would have been really uncomfortable to wear, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But honestly, as cool as that would have been to see, I really do like the Power Ranger-esque thing they went for. I used to hate it, but now it's kind of grown on me. So
I was pretty ambivalent about it for the most part, but
Mm-hmm. I guess there's another reason why Spider-Man 2 is considered the best superhero movie of all time. It's because of how similar Doc Ock looks in that movie to some of his adaptations in the comics. At least from
it was the follow-up to the other greatest superhero movie of all time, the first Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I can totally understand everyone saying Tobey Maguire's the best Spider-Man for the same reason people say that Christopher Reeve was the best Superman, because that was that was the superhero they grew up watching 100,000 times as a kid, and that's the iteration that they will never get out of their heads.
It's not, for me, it's not just nostalgia. It's more so the fact that I just like those movies compared to the other Spider-Man movies. Because the Amazing Spider-Man movie sucked, and the first Amazing Spider-Man was alright, but the second one sucked. And Homecoming's alright, but I just prefer if they got an actor that looked a little older to play Spider-Man.
Well, Spider-Man is usually a younger character, so
I know, but I mean, like, even in the comics, he looks like a high schooler, and no offense to the guy they got at Tom Holland, kind of looks like a middle schooler. I don't know, he looks a little too young, even for comic.
I feel like Maguire looks too old by the same token.
Maguire, I think the the one who looks the perfect age, actually, is ironically from the worst ones, the Amazing Spider-Man duo movies, because the Andrew Garfield looks like a high school kid. He doesn't look too old like Sam Raimi. He doesn't look like Sam Raimi, who looks more like adult Spider-Man, and he doesn't look like too young like Tom Holland. And I know people say that Spider-Man was in high school, but even then, in the comics, I know it was the art style, but he looked like he was in his 20s even for a high schooler.
Well, it depends on who's drawing him, but yeah, like, it's just...
Yeah, like, the original 60s, 70s Spider-Man looked old for his age. It's just art styles.
Who
art
burned
styles
a cat to death?
Agreed.
Who the fuck?
What?
Okay, who burned a cat, and was it my cat? If it was someone else's, I don't care, but if it was my cat, I will find you and I will, I don't know what I'll do, but...
The stream is ruined.
Is
fuck!
there something...
My god, where did you fuckers come from? Jesus.
Is this a real cat that got burnt? Someone's talking about it in chat, or
Yeah.
what?
Look at the fucking log.
Text log in Minecraft.
It was Solus. He left the realm. And he left the voice chat. It had to have been him that burnt someone's cat.
God damn it.
Of course he did.
I don't want to accuse anybody, but damn. Somebody burned
Well,
a cat to death.
If that's the case, I'm never inviting him to my place in real life.
Alright.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. My cats are still here. Thank God.
Okay.
Actually,
Well, I do have to say, when I heard that it was Tom Holland versus Asa Butterfield, my money was on Asa Butterfield because he had just enough of that baby face and a bit of that, just enough intensity also, from having seen him in Ender's Game.
Oh god.
is that experience orb from one of my cats, Solus? Solus, did you kill one of my cats? Be honest. I'll be less mad if you tell me the truth.
Solus, are you slaying pussy on my Minecraft realm?
Yes.
Why'd you do it, man? I know we were talking about like stuff that you don't know about, but
Goddamn.
you don't have to know everything in the world. I've told you this many times. When you try to help people on the Clover server with things, instead of me helping them, you interrupt me and say you want to do it. I understand that you want to seem helpful, you want to know everything in the world, but people will respect you more as a person, and I've told you this before. I'm trying to give you life advice. People will respect you more if you admit that you don't know everything, because no one knows everything.
And I can't count the number of times I've been on stream and had nothing to add to any conversations.
Mhm.
And I've openly admitted to that very fact.
Yeah, it just makes me seem like a better person if you see he's just trying to help you out for next time.
Alright. That poor cat. Fucking cat to deserve it.
My poor Cade.
I'm sorry.
Oh man. So, I mean, at least we had hot pussy live on stream, but I mean.
Good grief.
Anyway. Alright, I think that's probably a good time to call it off. Alright, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. Thanks to everybody who joined in. We'll be back again next
I
week.
pretty much just got here, but
Yeah.
that's fine. I should be getting to sleep soon anyhow, so...
Understandable. Anyway, and of course, as
I was
always,
busy earlier.
I hope everybody has a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Everybody.